I'm quite clear that with our current levels of consciousness, we won't, as a society, be able to make the decisions that we need to make to solve the challenges that we're presented with, economically, environmentally, and socially. And so transformation of consciousness is my goal and my vision, and to effect it at the highest levels of business. I had a extraordinary experience yesterday in the process, and I'm still trying to integrate it. And after about 10 minutes, I had this thought of, I'm free. I know where the thought came from. It was very, very powerful. I'm free. And then about 15 minutes after that, I think 15 minutes time didn't mean very much in the process. I had this experience of, I exist. Now, this is the weirdest thing. I exist. Before time and space, I exist. In time and space, I exist. After time and space, I exist. It was like awareness. I'm aware that I exist, and to try and explain it, it's like I've been driving a car for so long that I think I'm the car, because I don't remember getting into the car. I don't remember the moment of getting into the car. And the I exist moment, which just went on and on and on, showed me that there was a time when I got into the car, that I'm not the car. I exist is not the same as I'm alive. It's not the same. It's different. There's a different texture to it. But it's such a new experience for me that I'm just touching it. And that lasted for a considerable amount of time, and I was just in awe of that state. And then it shifted again to I am. And that was extraordinary too, because it was a level of consciousness, but completely different. It was completely different, because it wasn't before time and space. It was in time and space. And it was accompanied by this glorious golden light. And so much so that I thought, oh, I missed something. They've turned the lights back on. And I'll take my, or maybe my eye shades have shifted. And they hadn't. And so the light was inside me. And the difference in texture of that, the difference in the way that it impacted how I felt, made me realize that, and this sounds weird, but although I knew I was alive, I didn't know I existed. Although I felt I was alive, I didn't know I existed. So I exist like the trees, like the grass, like the heavens, like the stars. I exist. It's not the same as being alive. It's the sharing of existence with all things. As you can tell, I'm just struggling for words, because it's much more of a deep feeling than words can express. But it was an extraordinary process that I'm still struggling to integrate, because it's awakened something in me that I didn't even know existed. And now I've had an experience of it. I need to know how it might determine how I move forward in terms of how I can share that oneness that I experienced in that state with as many people as I can, I'm excited to see how it may guide the future path that I take. But certainly the underlying structure of my system has been changed by it. The underlying structure. It's as if you can understand something to be true, you can even know it to be true, but until you experience it in your own body, it just remains an idea. And I exist does not remain an idea for me anymore.